Hey, what's going on, internet? Josh Noel from SonduckOne. So, in this Call of Duty gameplay, we are playing Capture the Flag, and I get 60 kills in this game. And Capture the Flag, is definitely one of my favorite game modes in Call of Duty. And I like to split this up into, Capture the Flag into, 3 different positions. Offense, defense, and a midfield position. And usually I'm not really an offensive player. I don't like going after the flags. And I prefer to play more defense. But in this game, I play more of, I guess, a midfield, and then I switch up to play offense. But initially, my strategy is usually on, capture the flag, is to start off playing midfield, and try to pick off several enemies as I can, and then try to pull back and play defense. If my team is successfully being able to take the flag. But however, the start of this game, I do die quite a few times. There's only 8 deaths in this entire gameplay, and 6 of them come in this first round. And it's usually just because I rushed things too much in this game. I wasn't necessarily settled in to start this game off. But once I kind of learn the players we're playing against, and I get comfortable, the next round I go basically 40-2. But this round, is really just about playing the objective and making sure that we have a good start. On the other team, because really just this game mode is just about the scoreboard, not really the kill death ratio, and that's really what most objective games are about. And that's really the only thing I care about is winning the game. Of course, I want to have a good kill death ratio, but I don't want to have a high kill death ratio and lose the game. I'd rather have a crappy kill death ratio and still win the game. But anyway, I pushed a little bit there to play a little bit offense. I saw that my teammate was able to pick up the flag, so now I'm pulling back, so I'm not necessarily putting myself at risk. And here I am, I'm playing a little. That's why I like the midfield position, because if the enemy picks up the flag, I'll be right in position to kill them, and I'll be close to them. I might be able to cut the route and be able to pick up the kill like I just did. And I didn't notice his teammate behind him, so that's why I died. But now I'm kind of going back to the midfield position and picking up a few enemies as I work my way towards the offensive position. And right here, I just picked up a ton of kills, or at least 3 kills here in the middle of the map. And I'm like, okay, that gave me a lot of confidence to push for this flag. And there's already 3 more people around this area because my teammates with me. I think he picked up a guy as well, but. Basically, I took their flag, and some of them respawned, and it's just too overwhelming. But that's really why I don't like playing offense on Capture the Flag. It's just because things can get really overwhelming really fast. And clearly I picked up maybe 6 kills on that life, and did it within like 30 seconds, and which was awesome. But when you go on a tear like that, you might want to keep going for the flag, which I did here. And unfortunately, I still died because there's a ton of people there, and I had to go and try to defend our flag. Luckily, someone I'm playing with, his name is Seamanir. He goes ahead and I think he picks up the kill to return our flag or something like that. So he's usually the defensive player, and we play a lot of Capture the Flag together. And I play more midfield, he plays more defense. And then we have another person in our party that's playing offense. So we have a good strategy. We got our defense, offense, and midfield strategy. Capture the Flag is great if you can play it within a party. But basically there's a minute left in the game. We're up by 1. Sorry, a minute left in the round. We're up by 1. And I just want to make sure that no one's going to come by and try to take our flag, which obviously they are. They're getting through our defense a little bit. But I'm going to make sure to mess things up for them. And right here I'm going to go ahead and help my teammate take their flag and make sure that they're not going to be able to cap it, which, once again, our defense is pretty good on this game. So, the advantage of playing a party, we can do some call-outs and able to locate where the flag carrier is going. But, at this point, just trying to escort the flag back, even though it's kind of overkill at this point because we're basically going to win the round. I mean, even they have our flag right now, but, I think our team is too strong. I mean, we didn't really have to go for their flag. I mean, I really was just playing all-out defense. But when you play with random people, you just want to keep playing the game how you're playing it. At least that's what I think. But, at this point, I'm going to stay in the back of the map because I know the round is literally over. And, I want to be able to build up my score streaks for the next round. So, I mean, so far this time in this round, I think like I said, I think I went 20-6. And we won the round by 2, and basically, it's a good start. I went 19-6, and I just wanted. I mean, even though I did die 6 times, of course, it wasn't looking like a game playable video for YouTube. But the thing is, we play the objective, and I think I did a good job playing the objective and helping our team, be able to stay up by a few points. Now here in the start of this next round, I am working on my Wraith, and I have the combat focus ready to go whenever I plan on using it. And, right here, I noticed I got on the radar, so I stepped back and picked up the kill. And so right now I'm going to play more of a midfield ground, and of course I'm going to be very, very conservative because I know I'm about like 150 points away from the Wraith, so that's about, 2 kills. And, I don't want to force anything to make sure I lose that, because if you can get, some high score streaks and capture the flag like the Wraith and Raps, you have a great chance of winning the round, and it makes it so much easier for your team. So I'm doing what I can right now to stay alive, and even though it's a little bit slow, nothing is going on. It's just important that I don't die, because I mean, even if the other team does take our flag and cap it, if I can get my score streaks, we have the chance to cap all 3 times. So that's really more valuable than actually just playing the objective. But even though I was playing a little mid-ground game there, and I went ahead and stepped up here to pick up that kill because I realized that my teammate did push forward, and if he was in a lot of trouble, I would have known he would have died. But I made sure I played it safe and read the mini map before I made my move up here to get my Wraith. Of course, you need to know where the position of your teammates are at, so what strategy you can form to push forward or fall back or whatever you're trying to do. But anyway, I got my Raps, and of course the Wraith is in, and basically from the rest of this game, I just kind of stay up in this house area and do a lot of work. And of course, they all spawned near me, so I was able to not make it back with the flag, but. I really didn't have to do that. Guess what? My teammates could have done that, and I could have held down the house. But you know what? Since I realized that that house yielded me a few kills, I decided to kind of go back to it and see what other work I can do in there. Because if something works out, I believe that if something works out, you should continue to do it. And I'm already back at the house, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a few kills to help my team bring that flag back. And just making sure the enemy is not going to chase a flag carrier, and making sure that we win the round, because it's a bad it's like a fail if you lose a round when you get Wraith and Raps and capture the flag. So as you can see, I'm able to control the enemy, and no one's even shooting at me because they're more concerned about the Raps, and obviously the Wraith was giving them a little bit of trouble as well. So with our constant UAV, I'm able to see where the enemies are at, and I'm constantly reading the map, and not going out into like all the red dots on the map. I'm staying in this house because I know that they're going to be guarding the flag like crazy, especially now since our team is full on rushing them. And somehow I picked up a flag carrier kill there because I think we didn't have really any defense since everyone was playing offense on our team. But staying on their side of the map, and as you see, I just embarrassed like 3 people right there. I was stunned, and I was able to pick up a kill, and I'm continuing to destroy them. I just got Wraith and Raps again, and that was the advantage of staying in the house and doing awesome stuff. The last like minute and a half have been absolute ownage. So it's like that should be its own separate video. But when you have so much momentum and you have the advantage of your score streaks and your team is around you, take advantage of that and don't like overplay anything. I was basically in the house staying near their flag and helping my team control what's going on and making sure that they are staying in the back. So just take advantage of the situation you have, and they still have no answer for me. I'm not really even being shot at when I run into enemies. And of course, once again, they're more concerned about the Raps and the Wraiths. And I decided to take their flag. Just I could have just stayed over here and probably picked a few more kills, but I decided to take their flag anyway because the game's over. And after all my hard work, I wanted to cap the flag, and at least have one capture this game instead of several defends and a ton of kills. make it look like I played the objectives game by getting 1 capture. But you know what? I love capture the flag, and I don't consider myself an offensive player, even though in this game I probably did play a little bit more offense than defense. And of course, right here at the end, I had to choke the kill, but that guy was jumping all over the place, so I'll go ahead and give him a shout out for killing me. But anyway, guys, a 60-8 gameplay on capture the flag. Playing some, every kill meant a lot for my team, I believe. So, it really gave us control over this game, and gave us the win. So, guys, that's really what I play the game for, is to win. I feel good when I win the game. I don't like losing, but you know what? It's Call of Duty, and it's a fun game. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you guys haven't already, please consider subscribing for more Black Ops 3 videos and gameplays just like this. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon.